Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Physics for AP. So in previous we will discuss some of the structure of atoms. So today we are going to have a quick summary about what we have discussed in the structure of atom. So we have discussed about the definition of the atom, and upon that we have discussed about the atomic model, that is the first Bohr's atomic model. And in this Bohr's atomic model we have discussed about the emission, the absorption and the emission of the energy, and we have discussed about the shells and what are those shells called as KLMN and represented with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have discussed about the spectrum. It is a group of wavelength, so which consists of a lower wavelength to higher wavelength, that is from the violet to red, which is called the visible light, which we call it as the visible light or the visible spectrum. We call it also called as the visible spectrum. And next, the Bohr's atomic model failed to explain about the Zeeman effect and the Stark effect. And next came the Bohr-Sommerfeld model. So here the Sommerfeld had made little modifications in the Bohr's atomic model. So instead of taking the concentric circles, he have taken the elliptical orbits. So the limitation is he couldn't exact the main position of an electron in the atom. So that was explained by quantum mechanical model, which was developed by Max Planck. So with the help of the Erwin Schrödinger, he had named the place where, or the region where the maximum probability of electron could be found. So that region of the space is said to be called as orbitals, that what we call as the SPDF orbitals. And next we have discussed about the quantum numbers. So that is, these all can be, that is the probability of finding an electron that can be done with the help of the quantum numbers. In that we have discussed about the principal quantum number, which explains about the size and energy of the shells, that is the shells, KLMN shells that could be explained. And to find out the number of electrons that can be fit in the shells is the formula 2n square. Next, after the principal quantum number, we discussed about the angular momentum quantum number, which was explained by Sommerfeld, and it explains about the shape of the subshells or the orbitals. So here we have the orbitals SPDF, and those are indicated as the values 0, 1, 2, 3, and the formula to find out that is L is equals to n minus 1. So this all we have discussed. And coming to the shapes of the orbitals, here we have the s orbital with the spherical shape, and here we have the p orbital, that is the dumbbell shape, that is px, py, pz, and we have the double dumbbell shape of the d orbitals. So 5 we have discussed. And coming to the f orbital, that is a four-folded shape. Next we have discussed about the magnetic quantum number. So the magnetic quantum number was explained by Landé. So it explains about the orientation of the orbitals, that is nothing but the degenerating orbitals. So the boxes what we have discussed, the degenerating orbitals, it has been explained. So to find out that the formula we have ml is equals to 2l plus 1. And next coming to the spin quantum number, which was explained by Uhlenbeck and Goudsmit. So it explains about the spin orientation of the electron, that whether it is moving in a clockwise or whether it is moving in anti-clockwise direction. So the two electrons can be fit in one single degenerating orbital with an up arrow mark and a down arrow mark, which are anti-parallel to each other, and the plus half indicates the clockwise and the minus half indicates the anti-clockwise direction. And next what we have discussed is, we have discussed about the electronic configuration, that is the shorthand notation of the principal quantum number, the subshells, and the number of electrons, which we call it as the NLX method. So we have a principle that to follow the electronic configuration. So what is the principle? First is the Aufbau principle, where the electrons are being arranged according to the increasing order of the n plus l values or the energy levels. So that is, the first electron should be entered into the lower energy level, that is the 1s. After that it should be entered the 2s. Then next it should be entered into 2p. Then it should be entered into 3s. After 3p, 3s, 3p, 4s. After that 3d, 4p, 5s. So this is the Moeller chart. So with the help of this Moeller chart, we can arrange the electrons in a specified manner, that according to the increasing order of the energy levels, and have told you how to find out the lower energy levels, like in a given options, to find out which is the lower energy level or which is the higher energy level. With the help of n plus L value, we can find it out. And this is the order of the energy levels according to increasing order. And we have to follow the Auber principle. That is, the 1s should be completed, then only it should enter the 2s. Without completing 2s, it should not go into 2p. That is, after completion of 1s, we cannot go directly into 2p. That is, we have to complete the 2s, then only we can be completed to 2p, then 3s, then 3p. That means it should maintain an order over here. And next, coming to the another rule which we need to follow, that is the Hund's rule. So the Hund's rule is that the degenerating orbitals which are present, it should be singly occupied. That is the arrangement of electron. First, it should be all the electrons should be in a singly occupied. Now, for example, if we take the electronic configuration for nitrogen, we got it as 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, as 3s, 3p are omitted. So in 2p3, here the 3 electrons are being arranged in a single box, a single degenerating orbital. So 1, 2, 3. So we cannot arrange them like this. For example, we have 4 electrons. So 4 electrons cannot be arranged here at a time. One up, one down, one up, one down. It cannot be arranged. So it should be arranged in an order that first all the 4 should be taken into single. 1, 2, 3. Next, the 4th electron should be coming on flip one by one each other. So this is what we have discussed about the Hund's rule. And next, we have discussed about the Pauli's exclusion principle. So the Pauli's exclusion principle says that the no 2 electrons have the 4 quantum numbers same. So if you take helium, so here we have 2 electrons. So the properties of these 2 electrons, that the exact position, that can be explained with the help of the quantum numbers. So now if you take the 4 quantum numbers, these 2 electrons will not have the 4 quantum numbers same. That is the principal quantum number, angular momentum, magnetic, and the spin quantum numbers. 4 will not be same. First, suppose if the first 3 quantum numbers are same, then definitely there will be a difference in the spin quantum number. Like if we take for helium 1s2, that is 2 electrons are there. So these 2 electrons, if we take it, the 2 electrons have the same principal quantum number, the same orbital, that is the same angular momentum quantum number, the same subshell s orbital, and the 2 has the same magnetic quantum number ml, that is 0. But when coming to the spin quantum number, the 2 electrons have the difference, that is one is plus half and other one is minus half. So there will be a difference. That Linus Pauling has explained that no 2 electrons in a same element will have the same 4 quantum numbers. It won't have it. And next, we have discussed about, with the help of an example, taking with a sodium, writing electronic configuration, writing its principal quantum number. So taking at the last orbit, what we have, the orbital 3s1, the electronic configuration, that will be considered to rate the principal quantum numbers. Like here also we have taken the aluminium. So while writing the electronic configuration, last we have the 3p1. So this 3p1, we write the electronic configuration. At the same time, if they give the 4 quantum numbers in this manner, and how can we find out that which element does it belongs to, that we have discussed here. So as 2 is 2, L equals to NL equals to 1 means nothing but p orbital. So we won't consider this. Now coming to ms, that is plus half. So plus half means that means we have only 1 electron. Now what we overall got here, it is 2p1. So 2p1, before what we have, before 2p1 we have 2s, before 2s we have 1s. That means as 2p1, in a 2p1, as we have an electron here, that means the previous energy levels, that is the 2s and 1s, are completely filled. Then only it can enter into the 2p. So 1s2 and 2s2, 2p1. As counting the number of electrons, 2 plus 2 plus 1, that is 5. So 5 electrons, that is, it belongs to the boron element. So this is what we have discussed in our previous episodes. Now coming to the another final conclusion about that. So as we have the 4 quantum numbers here, principal, angular, magnetic, and spin quantum numbers. Now most of them will get confused about what are all these 4 quantum numbers. So these 4 quantum numbers are nothing but the arrangement of the electrons. So how you can think that with a live example, as you may go have in your school assembly. Now consider as your school assembly. So in a school assembly, so we have the center of the assembly and all the students gather here in the assembly. Now consider that you all students are considered to be taken as the electrons. So your all students are nothing but we take it as the electrons in an atom. So this is the complete school. The complete school is considered to be an atom. The complete school is considered to be an atom, and you students are considered to be taken as the electrons. Now after early morning, after the completion of your assembly, what will you do? Obviously you will be going to your respective classes like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, respective your sections, your respective sections. What do you have? The A, B, C, or in my school we have the Mavericks, Stalwarts, Titans, Achievers, Pioneers, Innovators. So we have different sections. So this all the students move to their respective sections. So all the students which are considered to be electrons, so they go to their respective classes. So to go their respective classes, first we will send the lower grade students, that is considered as, take it as the first class students, or the second 6th grade students, take it as the secondary block. So this is the secondary block, so we take it as the secondary block. So first we will send the 6th grade students, or what we call the first grade students. So all the first grade students will move to the ground floor as their classes will be down, so they will go into the ground floor, or what we take it as number 1. And next the second grade students or little bit higher students, they will go to the second floor, that is 2. Next some other remaining students will go for the third floor, that is 3. Now as the students are being arranged in the first, that is the lower grade students are arranged in the first floor, after that the second floor, next little bit higher they move to the third floor. Now these are nothing but what we call the shells. So these shells are nothing but the floors, what we call the principal quantum number, the first, second, third, fourth, like how we take in a nucleus, the first floor, the second floor, the third floor. The first electron will be considered into the first shell. That means when an electron is being placed, the electron will be placed into the first shell. It cannot be entered directly into the second or third or anything. First it should be entered to the first shell. After the completion of the first shell only, it can be completed into the second shell. After the completion of second, then it will move to the third. The same thing also here in our school also. First we send the students when they have been seated in the first floor, then we send them into the second floor, then we send them into the third floor. So these floors are nothing but we call the shells in an atom. I think you got it clear. Next, now in a floor, for example this is a floor, first floor or second floor, third floor. So in these floors we have grades, right? Like A section, B section, C section and the D sections. That means all the students will go to their respective classes, right? So A, B, C, D respective classes. The same way also the electrons which are being arranged into the respective shells, like first shell or second shell or third shell, when they are being arranged into the respective shells, these electrons are being filled up with the respective subshells. What we call in our language, in our school language, we call them as the sections. So here we call them as the subshells. That is S section, P section, D section and F section over here. The same thing also we have like in our schools A, B, C section or Mavericks, Stalwarts, like how we have the sections. The same also the first floor who was having, they will go to the S section. The second floor, that is we have only S orbital in the first shell. Coming to the second shell we have S orbital and P orbital. Coming to the third shell we have S orbital, P orbital and D orbital. That is 3 sections we have. So the electrons will enter into the first floor with the section S. The second floor will enter into the electrons will move into the second shell with the sections S and P, and the third will be entering into the S and P and D. So these subshells are nothing but the SPDF sections, which are our class sections. Now when we enter into the class, when we take one section, when we enter into the class, the students, that is you students, need to be arranged in a seating arrangement, right? So you need to be seated in your place. So here we have the teacher board. here the teacher board will be present, and students will be seated in their arrangement in their respective places. So these places are what we called it as the degenerating orbitals. I think you got it. The degenerating orbitals. As we have told you, the degenerating orbitals are nothing but in S we have only one single box, in P we have 3 boxes, and in D we have 5 boxes. Is it not? So the same thing also here also we consider that these places, that is in our classes we have rows and we have benches. Those benches are said to be called as degenerating orbitals. Now you students, which we call you as the electrons, these you should be seated in your place, respective places. The same thing also when we send into the P section, the electrons should be seated into the respective degenerating orbital, that is px, py, pz. Their respective places they should be arranged. So this is what we call the respective places, which we call them as the degenerating orbitals. And the last but not the least, which we call as the spin quantum number, that is the arrangement of the electron, that is up arrow mark and down arrow mark. So the arrangement of your places, arranging in your sitting for each benches, one bench, or what we make, some of the schools they make arrange it as one girl and one boy or 2 boys. So we make them to sit in a perfect arrangement, right? So the same arrangement also here we make them here in S orbital, 1 electron up, 1 electron down. And the same also here, 1 electron up, 1 electron up, and another electron down, another one down, and another electron down. That is nothing but the seating arrangement which will make them to sit in a specified manner. So that is what we call the spin orientation. So these are nothing but the places, the particular places where we make them sit together. So this is about the principal quantum number, which you might get a clear understand about what are these 4 quantum numbers. Is nothing but the arrangement how we make. This is about how we make the arrangement of the electrons in an atom. See, in a school, how we make you to sit in the classroom, like starting from assembly. After the completion of assembly, you go to your respective floors. When you go to your respective floors, you go to your respective sections. When you go to your respective sections, you go to your respective place. When you go to your respective place, you go and sit with your friend. That is, you go and stick into your friends. That is, you sit in your particular place. The same thing also here we have the electrons. The electrons move to the respective shells 1, 2, 3. After that, they move on to the respective subshells S, P, D, F. After that, they move on to the degenerating orbitals. That is these boxes, degenerating orbitals. After that, they move on to the spin orientation. That is plus half or minus half. That is a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, the arrangements. So this is the best example to make you understand about what are the 4 quantum numbers with the help of the school. The school considered is now the whole school is considered to be taken as the atom, and you students are taken to be as the electrons. Okay, so this is about the quantum numbers with an example. Now coming to the last, that is, so we have some violated rules over here for the chromium and copper. So electronic configuration for chromium and copper we have some. So the chromium symbol is Cr, and the electronic configuration for the atomic number for chromium is 24. So what we write here is the electronic configuration as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d4. So let's see whether it has been completed. So 6 plus 2 plus 10, 6 plus 2 plus 10, 10 plus 10, 24, 20, 20 plus 4, 24. So now we got the electronic configuration for chromium. And the same time for copper, Cu. So the atomic number is 29. So when we write the electronic configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d9. So this is electronic configuration for copper and chromium. But here we have a violation that the electronic configuration for this chromium and copper both are wrong. That is, as we make the arrangement of electron in a specified manner, this will be the correct way. But according to some of the violation rules, so the chromium electronic configuration, this is not the correct. So what is the correct one is 1 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, and coming to here 4s1, 3d5. So one electron of the 4s orbital energy level will be jumped into the 3d energy level. Why? Because as in 3d we have 5 degenerate orbitals: 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So as we have 4 electrons here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now to make half filled, to be half filled, 1 is less over here. Now for the stability of this chromium, as chromium is a metal and it is a solid, to maintain its stability, what it will do is it absorbs 1 electron from the 4s energy level to the 3d energy level. So that 1 electron will be less over here and 1 electron will be added, so we get 3d5. Now we got it as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is the correct. Now we got it as the stability, as it is half filled. So when it is half filled or full filled, then it becomes a stability. The same as for here the copper also. Here 4s2, 3d9. Now the electronic, this is the wrong. The correct electronic configuration is 3s2, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1, 3d10. So here when we write the degenerating orbital, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That means to be completely filled, 1 is less. Now to become a stability, the 4s energy level of an electron will be jumped into the 3d energy level, so that it becomes stable, and the degenerating orbitals will be placed as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it has become a stable. So these are the chromium and copper. These are the two electronic configurations which violate the Aufbau principle. That is what we have discussed at Aufbau. Completion of 1 by 1, it should be completed to this. That is, after the completion of 4s, it has to go to 3d. Here 4s1, 3d5. As 4s1, it is not being completed, but still it has been entered into the next energy level, 3d. So this has been violated by the Aufbau principle, but this is correct. Why? Because for the stability purpose. So if anybody asks why chromium and copper are violating the Aufbau principle, because for their stability. For the stability and the energy levels, to become the stability, it has to grab the electron from 4s energy level to the 3d energy level. Due to that reason, these electronic configurations are a little bit different over here. So right now, thank you for your time. So this is what we have discussed about the structure of atom. So any doubts regarding the structure of atom, please give a comment, and thank you for your time for spending with me, and please subscribe the channel for more interesting videos will be up to you. Thank you, and thank you one and all.